I'm Alex Nicolau.
And I'm Grace Benkowski.
And welcome to your 20th installment of TribeTV.
On this week's episode, we'll be checking out a 3D art class,
meet some of LC's very own bus drivers,
and tag along with Josh and Bree as they visit their next region gym. NASCAR driver Ryan Newman suffered injuries from a dangerous crash on Monday at the Daytona International Speedway. According to the Associated Press, Newman is in serious condition and the damages to his car were extensive. The injuries are not life-threatening, and at the time of this recording, Newman is still being hospitalized.
Growing up watching NASCAR like almost every weekend, the way the announcers were talking and the way they brought out the black screens and everything, we immediately thought the worst.
My immediate reaction was I was really shocked about how something like that bad can happen, but I was happy that he was still alive and made it through it.
This week, the Chicago Auto Show took place. Some of the coolest reveals were the 2020 Mercedes-Benz Weekender camper van, the Chevy C8 Corvette, the Ford GT, the Land Rover Defender, the Jaguar F-Type, the Porsche Taycan, the Ford Mustang Mach-E, and more.
February is Black History Month. Let's take a closer look at how LC celebrates.
Black History Month to me means
Black History Month, it really means a lot.
Black History Month to me means
Black History Month means to me.
Black History Month to me means power. It means light. It means that everything that my people went through wasn't for nothing.
Black History Month, it really means a lot because from which came from olden times to newer times, everything's more modern and people get along a lot better.
Black History Month means we get a time in the year to recognize our past accomplishments, our past goals that we've reached, and the fact that we have come a long way in success.
When I think about Black History Month is the struggle, the fight. Think about how strong we are. It just makes me really happy that we can go through so much and still come out, shining and still being positively us.
When I hear Black History Month, I think about pretty much communities of people going back and celebrating the suffrage and all of the stuff that African Americans had to go through back in the day.
Black History Month is celebrated to recognize people like Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman. People like that who made the way for us to get to where we are today and be able to be solid African American men and women.
Being African American to me means being proud, being strong, being able to stand on your own 2 feet and be like, you know what, I can do anything.
My culture is really important to me. I never thought about ever wanting to be anything else except being black. I'm really happy with myself and my life.
Me being an African American man means that I have to make myself come into who I'm supposed to be.
Really inspiring.
Now let's take a look at some students in the 3D art class.
Perfect. Damn.
3D art, it's the best art class you can take because you have so much artistic liberties. You could do basically whatever you want as long as it's in the means of the project, and it's so nice because you can work on your own and you don't have a teacher telling you what you have to do every moment, and there's just so much more you can do in the class. In 3D art, you get to work with different tools and different mediums with art, and it just makes it so much more exciting. I like it a lot more than other art classes I've taken.
It's an interesting class, but I like the glass part about it because we were cutting and making very interesting things. We had to actually melt glass in the torch studio and make beads on a mandrel or a metal rod.
I'm just working on my stained glass project. Right now I'm just pinning all the pieces in place with these little nails. Other projects I've done in this class were bead making, the Calder project where we had to make something out of wire, and the stained glass.
I'm working on a small stained glass piece. It's 25 pieces, and it's supposed to be like a cat with 3 eyes, basically. I'll eventually put hooks on it, and it'll be like a sun catcher type of thing.
What made me want to join this class was that I've always been like pretty creative.
Looks like those projects are really popping. Keep up the good work, guys.
Now let's throw it over to Josh and Giovanni for this week's sports update.
The girls swimming and diving team placed 11th at the state finals down at IUPUI with a team score of 69. We want to congratulate junior Paige Baker for placing 5th in the 50 freestyle, and she also placed 8th in the 100 freestyle for Lake Central, which makes it consecutive seasons she's finished with medals in these events. Congrats to her and the rest of the girls swimming and diving team on a great season.
Now moving on to our boys swimming and diving team, they start sectionals at home this weekend. Best of luck, boys.
The wrestling team advanced 3 wrestlers from the East Chicago semi-state this past weekend. They have 3 wrestlers competing: Johnny Cortez at 106, Nam Doan at 113, and Isaiah Ponce at 132. Best of luck to these 3, and we hope to see them bring back a state championship to Lake Central High School.
Our gymnastics team beat LaPorte on Wednesday night, and they will head to Valparaiso High School this Saturday for the DAC championship. Best of luck, ladies.
The hockey team won the Roper Cup this past weekend over Crown Point 3-2 in double overtime with the game-winning goal by Brett Bogey in double overtime. Congrats to the hockey team.
Now, we caught up with some of the players to find out what winning the Roper Cup meant to them and looking forward to state.
The Roper Cup is between Lake Central, Crown Point, Munster, and Bishop Knoll. It is between those 4 teams for the regional. I am Vincent DiDonato. I am the Lake Central goalie for varsity. This year it was definitely an experience. It kind of brought me back to my sophomore year when Pez scored the overtime goal against Crown Point. But it was pretty cool to see it go into double overtime and Bogey score the goal. I'm just happy to see the boys that are happy, and hopefully we can bring that energy to state. The next phase right now is going into state. We all need to be confident. We just got to play our best, and state's just a different level of hockey.
Being the captain of the team, it's important to get the boys all hyped up for the game and to really try and get the team into it and get the fans into it. So being a captain, you have to manage the bench and try to manage what happens on the ice. I'm Brett Banster. I'm the captain of the varsity hockey team. Looking forward to going to state, obviously. We have it's a double elimination, so we play 2 games, and hopefully we'll come out on top to go to the state final, which comes back here to Midwest this year. So being a senior this year, it's sad, but it's fun to think about going into state and it being my last year, so I'm going to leave it all on the line this year.
Best of luck to our hockey team on the rest of their journey.
The boys basketball team unfortunately fell to the Michigan City Wolves last Friday 61-54 on senior night.
Now let's check out a recap video of our senior night.
If you want to check out the boys basketball team, they have a huge conference game Friday night against the rival Crown Point Bulldogs. Tip-off is at 7 at Crown Point High School.
Make sure to come out and support your Westlake All-Stars here at LC February 27th. Let's make sure to get a big crowd out there.
Well, that's all for this week's Sports Update. I'm Javon Alcantar.
And I'm Josh Burnett.
Let's head back to TribeTV.
Thanks for the update.
Many different students at LC have many different diets. Let's go check one out.
I differ from some other vegetarians because I don't use like animal products like wool or leather, which isn't necessarily a requirement for being vegetarian. And I also don't eat fish, which a lot of vegetarians don't either, but a lot of people do assume that vegetarians eat fish, which I don't. So I became a vegetarian because, well, I already didn't really like meat, like ever, but once I found out about the environmental impacts and the way it was hurting animals, I just decided that I couldn't eat meat anymore. Whenever I bring a lunch for school, I usually just bring like a sandwich and like some chips because there are like most snack foods and stuff are vegetarian. You know, as you imagine, most stuff doesn't have meat in it. So it's not very hard to just find like a normal vegetarian lunch if you just don't eat like lunch meat or something like that. When I go out to eat, I try and find like the best vegetarian option without getting a salad because I don't like to get salads all the time. So like noodles are always really good. And fast food restaurants like Burger King and Taco Bell are really good because you can substitute meat for like anything at Taco Bell. And at Burger King, they just got the new Impossible Whopper, which I've had, and it's really good. But yeah, sometimes at restaurants it is hard to find good options. If anyone else was starting to go vegetarian, I would recommend that you start off like, don't cut off all meat at the same time. Like you can start with just like cutting out like steak and then chicken and then like keep going until you're vegetarian because like it can be hard sometimes to just like go from like eating like all meat and then none. So yeah, just like start from steps and it'll make it a lot easier.
Looks like they're making big gains in 2020.
Transportation plays a big role at LC. Let's go talk with a few of our very own bus drivers to get their input.
The kids. I enjoy with the kids, finding out about the kids. Okay, so I wake up at 4:30 in the morning. I get to the bus barn. Well, I leave my house at 5:30, so I get to the bus barn about 5:45, and then start my bus and do everything that I have to do to get the day going. I leave the bus barn at 6:10.
We all have a job to do. If they're not in their seats, they're not getting paid. You know what I mean? Instead of working somewhere and they're hiding somewhere, you know what I mean? And I mean, for the most part, everybody has each other's back, especially when it comes to driving, you know? If your headlights out, they let you know. If something's wrong in the back with your back lights, they let you know. So I like that aspect of it.
It's very freaky. So when I first thought about getting or becoming a bus driver, I didn't think about the weather. Like, who thinks about that? There's so many things. So it's not fun, definitely. The snow is better than the ice by far.
Just like driving your car, but even better because you got height, right? You got bigger tires. I think it's safer, honestly.
Christmas time, they're very thoughtful. And I just got a Valentine's Day gift yesterday, so yeah.
I don't know my bus driver name personally, but like, she pretty cool and she be having a heat on, and I like that.
This one is for Brenda. She is my favorite bus driver I've ever had. Keep doing your job, Brenda. You're doing great.
Thanks for all you guys do.
Now let's head over to the Librarian with Josh and Bree.
What's up, LC? I'm Bree Cosina.
And I'm Josh Burnett.
And today we're back with another Region Gems, and we are at the Librarian in Hobart.
Let's go check it out.
The Librarian is a cafe located in Hobart. They are a traditional cafe that serves coffee and espresso-based drinks. They also carry a wide variety of other drinks and baked goods, including butterbeer and cookies. At the cafe, they have many board games and books that are provided. They are open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 6 and Sunday from 10 to 4. If you are interested, be sure to check it out.
Being honest, I'm a huge nerd and that place looks really cool.
I was going to say, I might have to stop by. But before we go, we have a special announcement from Sophomore Class Cabinet.
Hey LC, it's Kimmy Hesterman. And I'm Chris Moreno. And we are co-presidents of Sophomore Class Cabinet.
We wanted to tell you guys about an important meeting we have coming up on Wednesday, February 26th.
It's in Ms. Petta's room in C310.
Any sophomores that are interested in coming can come.
And we're also planning an upcoming donation drive, so if we can get as many people to come out, that'd be great.
Thank you.
Well, that's all for today, Elsie. I'm Grace Pankowski.
And I'm Alex Nicolau.
See you next week.